My name is Kaylin Hershey Tibbitts, and I was born in Cedar City to LeVar and Cleone Hershey. I had one sister, two brothers, and then a little sister that died. She lived one day, and then we lost her. She was the baby. I'm the oldest in the family. In my family, there was 5 children. I had really good parents, but they weren't active in the church. But they were really good people, and my dad worked really hard. And my mother, she made every holiday so neat. And we just had, and she'd make us dresses, brand new dresses. And in our one tradition that we had is at Christmas time, we had to come out one at a time, the youngest to the oldest. So I always come out last to see what Santa got me. And my favorite Christmas tradition was decorating the Christmas tree. Because back there, we took 2 weeks to decorate a Christmas tree. Because my mother had to have the icicles hung on the tree one at a time until they were totally perfect. And I had to help her, and so did my sister. And at first I thought it was kind of really crazy, but it was a beautiful tree, and I just loved it. My mother had an immaculate home, and I tried to get out of helping her clean. And sometimes I remember a time when I was older and a teenager, it's quite embarrassing, but I cleaned the bathroom and thought it was wonderful. And the next thing I know, I got called home because I hadn't shined the sink and the kitchen and stuff. And so I just lived with a mother, and I appreciate it now because she taught me a lot of things, but at the time I didn't appreciate it because I had other things more important to do than the thing. So I had a really good father. He had dyslexia, and he didn't want us kids to know it. He worked really hard, and he built new homes. He would work at the Chevy place on cars, and then he'd come home from work, and then he would build home. And he built several homes in Cedar City, and then we moved to Las Vegas, and he built homes 4 or 5 there, and every one of them we lived in. And I'd always lived in brand new homes all my life, except for when we moved to Vegas, we had to rent a home. One of our homes was built by he went to Vegas because he got a job down there as a carpenter, and he hung garage doors then. And so when we would go to him to help us with our homework or anything, he'd say, "Go get your mother to help you." And he didn't want us to know, because at the time they didn't know it was dyslexia. But he worked really hard and made us a really good living. And we'd sell the houses after a while, and he'd build another one, and he'd also just work. And so, and my mother was stricter to me than my dad. And so when I wanted to get my own way, I went to my dad. And I kind of enjoyed that a lot. So, and my mom always felt bad because we thought she was the mean one, and she was. But she wasn't that mean. But to us, we wanted to get our own way. My mom was really a wonderful girl, and she refused to marry my dad unless he took her through the temple. And so my dad wasn't, he lived in a home where his mother went to church, but his dad didn't. So he didn't get too involved with the church. But my mom, when he met my mom, she told him she wouldn't marry him unless he could go to the temple. So he did. He got ready, and they went to the temple up in Salt Lake. They were married in the temple by Joseph Smith. And but after that, when they came, they didn't go to church. We went on a lot of weekends in the mountains and Easter, doing different things. But I had a friend in Cedar City, a girlfriend that I got to go sleep overnight with. Lots of times we'd get to sleep overnight. And when we went to her home, we woke up at 6:30 in the morning and came up, and they read scriptures and they prayed. And I was so touched by that I wished that my dad did that, and I wished we had that in the home, that my dad was active in the priesthood. And because of that little experience with them, I wanted to marry a priesthood holder when I got old enough to get married. And so that's one of the reasons I got active in the church. When I was baptized, though, my dad was willing to baptize me because I wanted him to real bad, and he baptized me. And then afterwards, he confirmed me, but that's all he did. He said the words that confirmed me, but I didn't get a blessing. And for a while, I was kind of sad about that. But then I realized I should be very grateful that was my dad that was the one that confirmed me. And so anyway, because of that, I had a goal that I wanted to find a good guy and raise my family with the help of the priesthood. And so that's just the main reason. I went to Vegas, and we moved to Vegas in 1960. I had a lot of good friends that were members of the church, and we all ran together in a group. And my house was the party house where everybody got to come, and my mom was really good with that. We had a real cute house where in the middle was a patio, and it was the whole front room you could see into. It was glass, and then you'd go into the house with glass. But there was a patio in front, and that's where we had the party, out in our patio. And I had a lot of fun with that. And then, so that's the main thing I wanted to share with you, is just my desire to be active in the church. And I remember in Cedar City that I was probably in junior high. So I was probably about 13, 12 or 13. Sometimes I would go, me and my sister would go to church alone and sit, because when I could, I wanted to. My mother was active in the Relief Society a little bit, but she didn't get really active till we got to Vegas. We moved to Vegas when it was time for me to go to high school, and then she was the Relief Society president several times, and she worked in the stake as a counselor in the church, in the Relief Society, so she got real busy.